Now to the other top story, the U.S.-Canada border still half closed. Most Canadians will not be able to cross for at least another month.
The border update has people frustrated, especially since the Canadian side opened to vaccinated Americans last week. 2 on Your Side's Ron Plants has been on this story all day and is live in Niagara Falls. Good evening, Ron.
Good evening, Kelly. No Canadians coming over so far at this point means a bit of a commerce crunch here in Niagara Falls, New York, and perhaps for some other Western New York communities, maybe Buffalo not quite as much. Now, as you pointed out, the border closing extension announced by U.S. Homeland Security, obviously frustrating with more people vaccinated, and despite the Delta variant, no real explanation from Washington officials once again. It really upsets Congressman Brian Higgins and Mayor Robert Rustino on the U.S. side. They say they realize the economic impact, and they hope the U.S. government is not making any connection with Mexico on the southern border.
The relationship between the United States and Canada is entirely different from that of the southern border. They're not the same borders. The only thing they share is the name of a border. The fact of the matter is we have integrated economies, and they're different. There are different challenges and opportunities at the borders.
For all of those who used to say to themselves, geez, all these Canadians are here, I think they'd welcome them all back tomorrow if we could do that fast enough. Because you're right, it was at gas stations, it was at convenience stores, grocery. They were everywhere. Signs on our grocery stores, welcome Canadians. I mean, it's a part of our economy.
Now, here in Niagara Falls, they say that they've made up some of their business losses this summer as compared to last year, with more American visitors coming in from the mid-Atlantic states, but they really miss those Canadian consumers who they count on once tourist season drops off. And this, of course, if the U.S. border remains closed to the Canadians. Now, we checked in with the U.S. Travel Association down in Washington, D.C. They estimate that overall for border communities, the U.S. get this, loses $1.5 billion in travel business each month from no Canadians coming in. And they put that loss at $150 billion in 2020, with no Canadians coming in for travel expenses in that year. So you can see the impact. Reporting live from Niagara Falls, New York, I'm Ron Plants, Channel 2 News.